It hasn't been that long since the first raid. What do you know so little about your ancestors? Much shorter lives. Mongrels start getting old much earlier than humans, much faster. You live past 40. Okay. So for us, the story of the first raid is a legend that happened generations ago. There are no living witnesses. Do you have a way to tell day and night? You can't see in the sun in your caves. Big gong, which you treat like a relic. Gongkeeper hits it twice a day, to mark the beginning and the end. He's only got one ear. Oh, damn. That's hilarious. Basically, they hit a gong to know the morning and day, but children are mischievous and, you know, always hit it and stuff. And some tribes people would get up and greet people good morning in the middle of the night. Do Mongol tribes fight? Skirmishes. I've been forced to kill my kinfolk before too. Fights happen over food. But they do have rules and respect one another. But hunger. See your kids begging for food and not be able to feed them is terrifying. Why are you the only one who calls them mongrels? Alright. Oh my god. Just when you think you're done, that's just two. What do you think of life on the surface? Easy to get food and water. Build a house. I heard a story about demon worshippers abducting the whole family and sacrificing them one by one while the others watched. There were some brave crusaders knights nearby and they killed the villains and saved everyone. Is that... I heard another story. A young blacksmith lost his arm in a fire and worked to feed his wife and baby. They tried their best and lived from hand to mouth. They were still destitute and the end of desperate for to travel one night on the road. There were some brave crusader knights nearby and they caught the robber and threw him in prison. Not long after, his wife smothered their baby and hanged us. Oh, lovely! I ain't reading all that, so sorry that happened to you, or congratulations, Queen Galfrey. Okay. It's very interesting what he's saying. He's basically saying, like, it's almost like his people are better because we don't abandon our own in times of trouble. That's the power of the tribe. Much more community ridden, while these people up here will leave people to starve and stuff. You know, politics, real world stuff, let's be honest. I don't know how it's possible to have so much more and share so much less. Ladies and gentlemen, Lan. Speaking facts about even our own world. Anyway, look who I'm talking to. You must know life on the surface much better than I do. I like that. I'd never leave a needy person in trouble. I've been given more than most, which means I'm now more able to help others. said you were prepared to risk your life to do something meaningful. What did you mean? To invent a new salad? I don't know. It'd be much easier if all I really wanted was to kill demons. I think I actually envy the warriors who can live like that. If life taught me anything, it's just there are no easy choices. Dying a glorious death isn't enough. I want my dumb short life to have some meaning. I want something meaningful, you know, even if I have to pay the highest price. Especially if I have to pay it. I don't think you belong on my party. Alright. Holy crap, Lan. I've got 2.5 hours so I can break my fast, Lan. What have you done? Alright. I really, really want pink eye. No, no one clipped that. I don't want pink eye. Oh, God. Okay. I really, really want to voice act everything. But you guys have to... You know, the playthrough will take 400 hours if I do that. So there's going to be times... You know, I did most of the good one with Lan, and then I skimmed the rest. Sometimes I'll be silent and I'll just read because I want to know, and you guys can read as well. I hope you guys are okay with that. But main story stuff, main quests and stuff will always be voice acted. Alright, who the hell's Pink Eye? What woman? Oh. Imposing young Oriel is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jiska legionnaires and the last born of crusaders. Affection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turn them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me again, why am I supposed to be impressed by your reckless assault, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers through a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice? Quietly listen. If those gists of yours or whatever had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The woman chuckled before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. Okay, alright. That sounds pretty badass, I'll give it that. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jistkan priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. She's gotta be bullshit. They use their enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Attack! Who are you? Indara, warrior, magus, scholar. I admit I'm mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you. But I'm willing to accept that it's due to Avistan's isolation. No, I just don't know who you are, love. Come a long way to be here. Why did you come here? Witness a legendary war. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us. Takes a walk outside. I disagree. The Crusaders are doing a commendable job at resisting the demons. Oh yes, in the situation we have found ourselves in, cannot attest to that. Then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength minus assault and unfound confidence in their superiority. Why don't you join the Crusades and show them how fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, a theorist. You know what these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict on which her thesis will be founded. But then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Disca. Where's this last war that you mentioned? 3,000 years ago, a war against the Saurian pharaoh ended Gisca Imperium, an epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history, and as all conflicts that followed it were a pale shadow. Why do you find it so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems marching into battle, flying cities swoop out of the clouds, terrifying monstrous birds of prey. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Gisca, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors understand that no flight or fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmares that they made real. Damn, that does sound pretty badass. How do you know so much? Dedicated her whole life studying it. Visited old battlefields. Risking her life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city with her own eyes. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of Pharaoh forgotten plagues used to create. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you about. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Disca. Very well. Last war of Disca was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements, and their strategic plan was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Gisca, we are but stone club wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dogon, an advisor of the Pharaoh. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nevertheless. The gadfly sees the ox. The ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Yeah, alright mate. Unfortunately I am not good at knowledge world. Oh wait. But I am good at diplomacy. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. Nice. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, he falls silently, fixedly staring down friendly eyes of her audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact, an evidentiary base that grows even more meagre the further the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellished their tales of slaying a single Rhymarak by adding a dozen Balers, for example, I could win this debate, but I am above such things and therefore I'm forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. Nice. Have you changed your mind about joining? Okay. Oh shit! Endura unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be used not only for the strong, but also for the wise? What? The claw of Gisca? And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey. That curse a lie, so it was about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces her lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Cool! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you talk to everyone in Pathfinder games. What the hell did we just get? The claw of Gisca. Oh my god, what a weapon. It's a fire sword, let's go. Straight sword forge, but I love this stuff, man. You've heard of games rewarding you for exploring. What about games that reward you for talking to bloody everyone in the game and paying attention? A straight sword forged by the craftsman of Garun. The scabbard is decorated with engravements that depict battles between Osirian and the Jisk Imperium, accompanied by Indari's musing embroidered in golden thread. Flaming. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. I believe a short sword is perfect for you. But if we get a fighter, then that's perfect. Like, I really want a fighter. By the way, I've just realized that he's never going to use... Oh, no, it's good to keep a bow on him just in case someone's immune to all his magic. That was so good.
Godspeed.
Alright. Up to the big table we go. I bloody need to save it. Hope you guys don't mind these lore episodes. Ooh, picture! A tall athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely grey and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings! I'm Highlaw, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. Huh. I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders. Cool. In this region of Mendev, however, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for honest cause, talk to me. Oh, he's the fighter guy. Tell me about confrontation with the Night Spinner. It all began with task. I arrived and noticed some of my team to investigate sudden death. Famous Crusader, Baron Forerun. Okay. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet cultists calling themselves the Labyrinth of Mind had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They're obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed. The Labyrinth of Mind was prepared to infiltrate all the elite circles of Mendev, but Baron Falron stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. He opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into their world. They dreamt horrible and forbidden things. They fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could. Damn! The leaders of the cult fled, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter Lowry, who served under my command. They left me a note. From that note I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed she was the leader of the Labyrinth of Mind. My hunt had begun. I would get Lowry back at any cost. Okay, how do I help him? I want to know more about you. How did you end up here? Okay, we know about that. Trying to save her. Specialist in demon territory. He's got agents amongst the cultists. Queen Galfrey's been helping. I'll tell you the rest of it sometime. Going back to daughter. Lost her mother early on. Drifter with little idea how to talk to a 10-year-old, but even with such questionable parenting, Larry managed to grow into a wonderful girl. Brave, smart, beautiful, and entirely unbearable. She always argued with me about everything. She wanted to be a Pathfinder when she was 18. She was a fine Pathfinder. I'll never forgive the Spinner of Nightmares taking my girl from me. Damn. Okay, we know what the Pathfinder Society is. Alright. Alright, I'm curious as to what this is going to do. Oh, this is respecking. This is respecking. Okay. Now, I am going to respec. And you're probably thinking, what? Basically, I'm only going to respec because of one thing. And it's so nitpicky, I know. I want this to look like this. I want this to be the middle shot. But for some reason, I'm getting the full shot here. I don't know. It's just bugging me. It's just bugging me. And apparently when you respec, you can fix your portrait. So I'm probably going to do that. You know what? Screw it. No, not what am I about. Do I make a healer and stuff? I've always wanted to play one of these games and just make my own group. But that would be something you do in a second playthrough. Alright. Good luck. Watch your back. Cool. And here's Sealer. Oh my god, even more. Here we go. Holy crap. Okay. Hey there. Doing that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. Irabeth said your friend Jana is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? She's worried about her fighters, I understand. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you. Since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canibris a few days ago and just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too, but we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Jana's a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. Okay. What do you think of what's going on in Canibris? Complete chaos. It's lucky we're here to handle it right. There's a way I talk bother you. I know I can seem blasé. Many good people are protected. Surrender have died during Canibris. No, I like your optimism. I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. Damn. And undermine a warrior's spirit. Better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cults from the city. We want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. Nice when you and your commander think alike. Commander? Nice. I guess I'm chaotic good. I think. Is fighting demons all you want? Or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen. Anyways, to be more serious, the area around the world is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is a reward enough. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, the war against the world wound. They sometimes overlook smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know. I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favourite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help. Damn, what a great woman. Alright. I think we should go our separate ways. I'd like to know more about you. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb. A little bit from Katapish. Mostly from the Knights of Yomade. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mendev. By a long road, haven't you? Very long one. Travelers expect to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I only have 3 tales of any interest. And I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do, especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. Cool. You can't tempt me with a story about fighting chupacabras and then not follow through. What are chupacabras, by the way? Incredibly repulsive magical beasts. Fast and dangerous. They can. Well, it looks like someone's fooled me into starting the tale, I guess. Now I have to tell the whole story. Picture a small town in Kadira, and down in the dungeon there's 2 murderers waiting to be executed. The gallows are already built for them. The rope's been bought, but sometimes life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly a paladin of Yomade appears in the doorway and offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they'll live, if they survive that. There's a big difference between imminent death and probable death. with a glimmer of hope, when you say. So here we are, travelling through the desert. Me and my friend, the priestess of Serenray. Serenray, give me light. That's the Tristan one. Along with the little ratfolk fellow who'd asked for our help, and the two cutthroats. We'd get to the ratfolk village and see their bodies lying around all drained dry. Figured we'd have to fight vampires. But the sun was high and the vampires couldn't attack until dusk. We never got a chance to look around. Black shadows, quick as the wind, attacked us from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. One of the lads we pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second one ran for his life. That left me, the ratfolk, and Kira, that's the name of the priestess. And we all steeled ourselves for the fight of our life. And just when we thought the end had come, with the chupacabras surrounding us like a pack of dogs around a bear, our ratfolk friend wounded and down, and the teeth of the quickest of those blasted monsters clenched on Kira's shoulder. Right then, when all hope was lost, the other lad from the gallows suddenly comes running back. He kills the beast, attacking Kira. I'm sure you know what a turning point in a fight looks like. Well, this was it. A moment before we were lost, and a moment later we had it under control. The chupacabras dropped dead one by one. The little ratfolk is reunited with his family, who were hiding in the basement. The priestess and I closed the eyes of that boy from the gallows who saved us. It was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods keep his soul in its journey through the afterlife. Good story. Could have died in disgrace on the gallows, but instead he died a hero. And I'd fancy the stunt earned him some points at his final judgment. Smart to remember our journey doesn't end in death. Had it not been for that mercy, Milos, that was his name, would be hanging for a noose, and me, Kira, and all the ratfolk would be dead. Someone told me that a kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious. By the same token, an evil done by a noble soul is 100 times more horrifying. That's what I really wanted to say. The chupacabras were just good at a good starting point. Bro, what writing this game has, man. What made you become a paladin? That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions, but it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets with the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword. Not the proper origin for a paladin. Back then, Solka was a city of orphans, widows, widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among the victims. People there heard about new deaths before they'd finished mourning their previous losses. One day a group of knights of Euromide brought a glimmer of hope to the city. While others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. Haha. Thief lives one day at a time, that's what they say. I was the type that never fought past the next job. Anyhow, I was able to sneak into the knights' camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Seela pauses, her voice sad and measured, and I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Acme was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. The gnoll, like all those others she'd fearlessly driven from the gates of Solkan. That one blow was fatal, but who was really to blame for her death? The gnoll attacker, or the young thief named Seela? Damn! I disagree with that. I love the first part, but not the second part. Even a seemingly small misdeed can have terrible consequences. You're right 1,000 times over. I hate to say it, but I just didn't see it back then. And if I had never got that lesson, my eyes would probably never have been opened. Who knows what would have happened to me if it wasn't for Asimi and her bravery. Oh yeah, she mentioned her. And her death. Maybe the world would know Seela as a bandit, not as a knight. There's a saying I like to remember. People rarely find redemption on their own. Someone must show them the way. You were asking what brought me into the ranks. We all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Asimi died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realised it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead, I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been and protect the innocence that she would no longer be able to protect. God, all these character stories are so good. What are principles the paladins follow? I'll tell you, I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost it all. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion. I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. First in the battle, last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honour sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honour of my fellows, both thought and deed. I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender. I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honour for worthy enemies, and contempt for the rest. I will suffer death before dishonour. Temperate in my actions and moderate in my behaviour. I will strive to emulate Diomedes' perfection. Hope I didn't bore you. No, your story is amazing. I think we should go our separate ways. Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. See you. Oh my god. Okay. Man, I'm thirsty. Let's continue though. Who have we got next? Irabeth. Okay. I ain't reading that. Oh, it's the Spinner of Nightmares. Alright. Please, someone be voice acted. Any success? How's the city? We know our main objective. We know what the ward says. I asked Eddie's. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. My personal crusade oh my god, my brain's chalked. This was my personal crusade to purge the city. And I thought I was doing it. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cots out of Canibris. But it's hard to admit that those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demons. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? Born in Canibris. I grew up on a farm just outside of it. But my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of travelling through foreign lands before I came to be where I've always belonged. How did you become a paladin? I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. Here we go again. My parents are crusaders. May their souls stand together in the Diomedes celestial army. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was in awe. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, and more pious servant of the goddess than he. But still, all his life, he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older, it was time for me to serve. I decided anywhere but Canibris. That was where my father had served loyally. And his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the Honourable Prelate Holrun, stalked the city with a heavy hand. We keep hearing this Holrun's name. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to a smirk that looks more like a painful grimace across her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Last Wall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling the orcs. Yeah, that is pretty stupid. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. The locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin. But even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realised the simple truth. I serve the Diomedes, not these people. Okay. Things are bound to be tough for your kind too. You belong to two different races. But neither is willing to embrace you as one of your own. But at least relations between human and elves aren't poisoned by centuries. Hey, listen! Damn. She's not wrong. How did you come to join a knightly order? Left last fall, went travelling, goddess guided me. I fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. Wandered the River Kingdoms for a few years. We know where that is. That's Pathfinder Kingmaker Kingdoms. Killing monsters, tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, like my true place was in Canibus, but I pushed those thoughts away. In the end, divine providence brought me back to my senses. It happened in Timon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was a cover for Rosmiran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous. An unholy temple of Zon Kafon. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who was destined to become my wife, Anivia. Damn! But that's another story. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers, and I couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults that spread through all of Avistan, including Mendev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, excuse me, had infested my native Canibris and were among the ranks of the paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Nevia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. We hurried to Canibris. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigating, and my beloved, the half-orc, smiled warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we'd defeated the last, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. You know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Damn. Can you imagine? While Prelate Hulrum was chasing witches through the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first she planned to disband the order, but then she offered its command to me. I put its salvation in my hand. Of course there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight, but I was made commander just the same. Cool. How did they feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. Apparently the people are only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's still getting the sideways looks and stuff. Oh, this is a good line. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation. To wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. I hope you're not doing it. I'm talking about tieflings. People shun them. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Damn. Tell me about Anivia. We met in Timon as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Canibris together to expose the Templars of Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. Oh. But Anivia isn't just my beloved. She's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then. Before her return, the only thing that gave me strength to protect my friend's heart was I hope I'd see her again. We are in your debt. Holy crap, this game is literally a giant book. We have outside and basement. Have I missed anyone? Ernie! Come on, Ernie. Come on back. We're all good. Let's go. What a game. Oh, shit. Surrendered thy soul, Delvin. You want me to protect us? Aha, got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, Tiefling. Whoa, easy there, Chief. Don't hit me. Can I just take all this? Oh, yeah. What the hell did I just do?
Our time has come. I always did what was right, therefore I became righteous. Does it
True.
mean whatever I do now becomes right because I am righteous?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what the hell's going on here, but I guess we'll just leave them both up. This. Holy crap, heroism lasts ages. Okay. Do we level up or do we... You know what? No, we finished. We finished all the talking. Alright, let's talk to Delvin. Go ahead, don't take too long though. Alright, who the hell's Woljif?
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
He's got a picture. He literally has my hair, which is pretty cool. The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over. Oh, voice acting.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif. Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my
Ooh.
magic know-how isn't too shabby.
Is he a companion? We need a melee character, bro. Of course I just sold my cold iron knife. For God's sake.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
What does he mean I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price? Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter?
No, it
Don't get
does!
hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
I can imagine. Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
I like this guy. I can't help you while you're chained up here. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society.
All
Got
right.
that? Will you do it?
Yes, we'll do it. He knows my weakness, loot. He said there's loot, I'll go get loot. Alright, I'll talk to her.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
We'll talk later.
I will not falter.
I am so tired I just tried talking to myself. I don't want to talk about it. Alright, so... Oh, there's another one here. Are all three of them up? Yeah, they are. Okay, I'm going to type this down. What is this area called? Defender's Heart Basement. Defender's Heart Basement. Lever puzzle? Question mark? Yeah, let's leave it like that. I'll try and figure it out right now, but I don't know if it's a puzzle or if it's...
Together we stand.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I will see this through.
Yeah, I'm not a puzzle guy. You guys are... Oh my god, there's another one right there. What the hell just happened? There's no shot I just did it. Oh my god. There's no shot I just did it. Oh my god, it is. How? I mean, yeah, that's yeah. I knew that was the system of it, that it had to be, because systematically, like, it just makes sense regarding, you know, the distance between each lever's geometrical system. God, I'm so good at puzzles. I guess I done it. I don't know. What was it? Up? Down, down? Yeah, I can't even touch... I can't even use these no more. I guess I actually did it. Alright. I'm so good at video games. Hey everyone, this is my pet Ernie. He's an extinct creature called the Triceratops. There's a tiefling chained up in the Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? Petty thief from a gang of tieflings operating in Turnbased. That's what we call them in these parts. Thieflings! Oh, cool. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the Defender's Heart, but that's hardly a prison. He knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free. Or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? She squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit him and put him to good use, go ahead, take him off our guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope he proves useful to you. Actually makes sense. They actually made it make sense. I like that. I can't believe for 2 episodes I've been in this tavern. For 2 hours I've been in here. And it's been amazing. I hope it's been fun to watch for you guys.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me? Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Irabeth and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Alright, we'll see about that.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that Big Sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest.
Oh,
Somehow.
God.
Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Great voice acting. Alright. We got a bloody new character. You'll love to see it. Yay! Sorry. Where you going, bud? And it's finally time to head outside. But before we do that, we are going to level up.